to help you with your child?
He bought my daughter 2 packs of diapers.
Okay. And how old is your daughter?
My daughter is 5 years old.
I never got 2 packs. I never got a pack.
And Ms. Johnson,
African American man, that's
just
what they
desperate,
need.
Your Honor.
They need that
She
whole
desperate. She
family.
need
They
it
need
'cause she didn't have that
they
father.
need
She
that
need it.
dad in their life. And I just want him to have better than what I had. I had a good life, even though I didn't have my dad. But I want him to have a great
That's why
life.
she want me around.
What? Please, I've been.
Two women come together against their baby daddy to bring him down and make him know of his responsibilities. Both of them were pregnant at the same time and conceived around the same time also. But ever since they've given birth, the defendant hasn't done anything for their children, though he's doing it for his other kids. They're both suing over $3,600 for childcare needs. The father, however, is not in doubt that these kids are his, which honestly doesn't make things any easier.
He supports his other child because he's still sleeping with his other child's mother. He had 3 women pregnant at the same time. He is a dog. He doesn't do anything for my child. I have to take care of my child by myself. Excuse me.
Miss Carroll says she had to give birth to the baby on her own, but apparently he was there for the other woman when they gave birth. Miss Carroll's child is now 4, and honestly, that's a long time to not do anything for a child. He did sign all the kids' birth certificates. Miss Carroll is even surprised when she hears he had cut the umbilical cord for the other woman, and for her he was just gone. He says he was at work, but in the most scary way ever.
What did I tell you I was doing? What did I tell you I was doing?
What were you doing?
What was I doing? I was at work.
I don't know. You always lie. You always lie and say that you somewhere and you.
I don't have to lie to you about where I'm at.
I can tell this is.
Judge Lake tells him to calm down, and honestly, he needs to almost urgently. He's just frustrated for some reason. I mean, nobody got him into the mess he's in but himself. Judge Lake tells them that they need to communicate better for their child, because the shouting and yelling doesn't help anyone.
No compromise, no resolution when you all are going at each other like that. And all I'm sitting and thinking is, I am an adult. The judge of this court used to watching people in dispute.
Mr. James says he couldn't support his kids at first because he was going through something. Plus, at the time, he was putting himself through school and all that, so he wasn't as sound in caring for children, but he's willing to do better now. He says he has 3 kids, and he's willing to do anything to provide for his kids. Apparently what he has done for Miss Taylor is only diapers.
Anything to help you with your child.
He bought my daughter 2 packs of diapers.
Okay. And how old is your daughter?
My
Never got
daughter
that.
is 5 years old.
I never got 2 packs. I never got a pack.
And Ms. Johnson?
Ms. Johnson says she never got anything from him but outfits and shoes for her son. Apparently both knew about each other during the pregnancy. Well, I can only imagine what a mess that would have been. They even add that Mr. James was actively trying to put them against each other to up his ego. I mean, the man had 3 women pregnant at the same time, and each of them were all 18 years old.
3.
He had me, he had another female, and he had her.
So you're telling me he had 3 women pregnant at
Yes.
the same time?
Yes, Your Honor. At the very young, tender age of 18.
And we were all 18.
All the way out.
Wow.
The other woman, however, doesn't relate to this. She says he treats her daughter well enough that she doesn't have to complain. She says that they have come to a common ground where they don't have to argue every time. She says she tries to work it out between all of them, but is never successful because the 2 other women have too much drama and they don't like her very much.
Is it more important to press the point to require Mr. Barber to talk to you? Or is it more important to make sure on that Christmas morning when the boxes are laid out, there's one from Daddy?
In conclusion, Judge Lake awards both women the money after looking through everything they brought to the court, the receipts and everything.
She's requesting for this court judgment for Ms. Johnson.
Cash, please.
But I did hear between the lines a level of truth that I want to explain to you that I understand, because I want you to do better. Fathers, parents make sacrifices. They get it done without
Sacrifice.
excuse. And their children have to know they're the #1 priority. Are we clear?
Thank you.
Court is adjourned. Good luck to all of you.
Uriah is 4 now and his father still denies him. Uriah's mother, Miss Bennett, has brought him to court to finally settle the problem with him that is paternity. She's also suing him for $5,000 for childcare expenses over the last 4 years. Mr. Grant says he's not the father because the plaintiff has been dodging paternity for a while. Miss Bennett says she had sex on her birthday with the defendant on July 19, 2010. But 4 days later, she went to the hospital because she was having stomach pains. That's when she found out she was pregnant.
2010 on my birthday, we went to the jacuzzi suite, we drank, we had a very great time, we had intercourse. 4 to 5 days later, I went to work.
You sat there and
I got sick because I know exact
I had
date.
condom on that night. I know exactly that night.
Mr. Grant is doubting her, and he says they just started sleeping together. So how would she get pregnant at that fast speed? She says they didn't use protection, but he doesn't think so. They were in a committed relationship till they weren't. But she says she never slept with anybody else throughout the times they were together. But Mr. Grant says he's heard rumors about her promiscuity, and that's one of the reasons he chose to doubt.
Putting up and everything, I started hearing rumors from a few friends that she was sleeping around with a couple people.
And those people, I don't even know these people that you who is these so-called people? I don't even know these so-called people. And I was staying with you, so if I was sleeping.
He then proceeds to accuse her of sleeping with his cousins, a claim which she rejected. She says he was excited about the pregnancy, but he let pointless, baseless rumors have control on his decisions. He says the time frame is what he doubts. The 4 and 5 days aren't adding up. She explains and says even she didn't conceive her baby on her birthday. She'd been with the defendant a couple of weeks prior to her birthday.
Because you were sleeping together several weeks before that as well.
Yes.
That if you were pregnant,
It
then
still was his.
It's still Mr.
It couldn't
Grant.
have been because we just got together, Your Honor.
We were sleeping together for weeks.
She says she was staying with her sister all this time. He was trying to get with his ex. She says he didn't show up at the birth of her child at all, and she had to do everything alone. And then before she gave birth, his cousin called to tell her that he was in jail, and that's why he couldn't come. I mean, that's just mean and terrible. That just makes things worse.
That, oh, he's in jail, and my friend so happened to be driving up the street and seen him and said, hey, no, he's not in jail, he's right here. I called his phone. I sent him pictures. I didn't talk to him.
It's very clear that she's telling the truth. Plus, she even brought evidence to prove it. But apparently, he doesn't recall ever going to jail or even telling her he's in jail. He's basically done nothing for the child, and he's 4 years old. His sister, whom the plaintiff stayed with, is also on the same level with her brother. She says she's heard rumors of the plaintiff sleeping around. A particular one is a rumor that she slept with a man she used to date. She even says that the plaintiff's son looks just like that particular man. But that just sounds like an excuse to me. Staying out of a child's life for 4 years, all because of a rumor, is madness to me.
An American man, that's what they need. They need that whole family. They need that. They need that dad in their life. And I just want him to have better than what I had. I had a good life, even though I didn't have my dad. But I want him to have a great life.
That's why she want me around.
What? Please, I've been.
The excuses he gives up to this point are baseless, because 4 years is a long time. Judge Lake decides to read the paternity results.
In the case of Bennett versus Grant, pertaining to 4-year-old Uriah Grant Jr., it has been determined by this court, Mr. Grant, you are Uriah Jr.
I told you. Can I get an apology? I told you.